Hello and welcome to GWD Games Elite Dangerous Tutorial Part 2. Now in this tutorial we shall be taking a flight from one star system to another. We're not going to do any trading, we're not going to do any missions, there for another time. We're just going to go through some pointers on best ways to do things. Well, that's only my opinion, but what I've discovered, just little things to watch out for so you don't have any accidents when you first start flying between systems, just to give you an idea. Right, okay, let's get going. We are currently sat in the hangar at Iranin 4 Survey. Now this is one of the outposts. I've upgraded my ship to a Cobra and we are currently just waiting to set our destination. So we can do this in two ways. We can go to the galaxy map, and incidentally I've got a key mapped to that now, no pun intended, M for map. Normally you have to, if I just come out of that, normally I was having to go to number 1 and onto the WASD keys, into into galaxy map, hit spacebar. Bit of a faff when you're trying to work out where you can go and in and out of different menus. Now I can just press the M key, a lot better. Okay, so we are sat at Iranin. There we go. The blue lines indicate the systems we can get to. Now there are some, I'm just trying to see if there is one. You can get solid blue lines and you can get dotted blue lines. Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to see if we can, right, okay, here we go. So if I bring up that, see I can hold 18 tons. And it's not, no, it looks like everywhere is going to be a solid line. And what's that one down there? No, everywhere's solid. If it turns dotted, then it means you can get there, but not with the current loadout. So at the moment we're okay. We haven't got any cargo, so that's absolutely fine. So where are we going to go? Let us go to Ibutis. So there we go. Ah, there we go. There. When we get to Ibutis, it's showing us dotted lines now. So they're the dotted lines I was talking about. Right. Okay. So I've selected that. Press escape. If we go look at the first menu now, and take the cursor right, these are the destinations. So we've got the various in-system things. And the other, where did I say we're at? We're at, there we are, we're at Iranin Survey. It's telling me there on the left-hand side. We could lock the other two space stations in there, or if we wanted to go have a little look at one of the planets, that's fine. Okay. We are going to Ibutis. You see there, it's already locked on for us, so that's great. We did that from the galaxy map. Okay, let's ready to go. So launch. Before you launch, if you are using a joystick, which I highly recommend by the way, then make sure the throttle is off, 0, whatever you want to call it. Because if we launch and the throttle is, well, anything above 0, then as soon as the clamps releases, we're going to whiz forward, and if you look, there is a thrust baffle right in front of us and we're just going to hear that. That's not good. So let us just wait till that's gone out of the way. There we go. Right. There'll be a clunk and we are off. There we go. Now, I have got on the joystick the POV or hat controls on the top of the joystick set for various different thrusts. Now, up and down is vertical thrust, so I'm just pushing the hat up and we're straight up, right, so we can now throttle forward and we'll get clear of the space station. I'm going to bring the gear up, and I'm also going to increase the power to the engines with the up arrow key. That just gives us more speed. So if I press reset, you'll see the speed dropping back down. There we go, 213, 12, 210. I think it's going to be 210, yeah. If I put all the power forward, it's going to increase to 280. There we go. And in fact, we're clear of the space station already, which is great. We've already locked our target, and looking at the indicator to the top left hand side of the main scanner, it is telling us it is off behind us somewhere. So we're going to roll round until it's in the vertical plane, and I'm going to pull back. I'm just going to throttle back so we get more manoeuvrability into the sweet spot there on the right hand side on the throttle. As you see, I'm just moving the throttle up and down there. You'll see it moving to the right of the scanner. That blue area there is the area of most manoeuvrability. So just remember that when you're dogfighting, it can make a real difference. Okay, I'm going to throttle fully up because we're going to need full throttle for the jump. We're lined up. I'm going to press J. There we are. Drive is charging. So we are lined up and full throttle. If we aren't lined up or we haven't got full throttle, it will tell us and we will have to manoeuvre accordingly. Okay, here we go. Well, we're obviously not quite lined up. Maybe we just... yeah, there we go. It was just marginally off. Typical, isn't it? I suppose it illustrates the point. Right, just turn the volume down. It is a little bit loud. Okay, yeah, it was... stuttering was the display again there. Now, I don't know whether anybody else gets that. Maybe you could leave a comment below the video. I've got a fairly decent PC here. It's a sort of dual quad-core HP workstation. So it's something like it's got 8 cores and something like 16 virtual core processor. I've got ridiculous amounts of RAM in here. Graphics cards are an AMD R9 270 and the internet connections are 100 meg. It should be pretty good, and in fact the manoeuvrability, and it doesn't seem to stutter at all. It just seems to be in hyperspace. I don't... strange, I've not quite got to the bottom of that yet. Anyway, right, we have arrived. Now, if you were watching carefully, as soon as we arrived, I moved away from the sun. Now, that is because we don't want to run into the thing, of course. It's not too bad if you don't move out of the way quick enough, because all it does is it just throws you out of Super Cruise, which we are in at the moment, denoted by the fence posts or the lamp posts whizzing by on the display. They just remind me of fence posts side of a country lane. It would knock us out of Super Cruise, and we would have to just wait for the drive to cool down. But it's a lot quicker to, as soon as you've come out, just veer away and we remain in Super Cruise. Right, okay, I'm just going to throttle back a little bit because we're going to end up being too far away from the target. So pressing number 1, we go to the navigation screen again, and where shall we go? We can go to Chango Dock, which is the bigger space station, or we can go to the research station. Let us go to Chango Dock. Right, so spacebar, number 2 to face forward again. Right, okay, it is behind us again, so we'll just manoeuvre around. Okay, and back to full throttle. Now it's 2,000 plus light seconds away. Okay, and we're doing just short of 70 C. So it's going to take us a little while. In fact, it's telling us what, 33 seconds. It's going to take us longer than that because we're going to have to throttle back at some point. Now, this is where you have to keep an eye on, number 1, the distance away, and number 2, your speed. If we just pile in at full throttle, even though as we get closer, it's actually bringing the speed down. If you look at the speed, we're down to 45 now, down into the 44s. I'm going to have to throttle back a little bit now because we think we're coming in a little bit too fast. If you overshoot, you end up doing loop-de-loops round your target. It can be very frustrating. It's best just to, in fact, I don't think I've been concentrating enough. We're coming in a bit fast now. Oh no, that's alright. There's one thing the Cobra does, is it slows down a ton faster than the Sidewinder. The Sidewinder just seems to keep going. You throttle off and it just coasts. It just does not brake very well. Whereas the now I've moved into the Cobra, I take the throttle off and it's pretty good at slowing down. So that keeps catching me out now. So I'm ending up slowing down too much. If I jump back in the Sidewinder, obviously it'll be the other way around again. So it's just dependent on which ship you're in. Right, okay, so we're down below 1C now. Look, we're down into single figures of light seconds. So we've got to approach down to 1 million meters. I think that's what the measurement is. It drops from light seconds down to million meters, and the speed drops down from C down to million meters per second. If that's not the unit of measure, then please, yeah, by all means leave a comment at the bottom and please correct me. Right, when that distance gets below 0.1 it will swap into those units. The speed swapped already, as you see, so I'm sure mm/s is million meters per second, so I'm going to stick with that unless somebody tells me different. Right, okay, it's now 0.2. Keep the speed's coming down nicely. I'm just going to increase the throttle a little bit now. This seems to rattle down now, so I've pulled the throttle right back. 20 million meters. We've got to get down to 1 million, and the speed has got to be under 1 million as well. Right, the speed has dropped down on its own. I'm just carefully keeping it pointed at the target, waiting for that. I'm slowly increasing the throttle as well, because as the speed drops off on its own, I can afford to do it now. We're coming in rapidly now, down to 3, and got to keep pointing at the target, and we're going to get the blue light. There we go. Safe, disengage, ready. Now, just a quick point on this, quickly before I press J, is if I've overshot, and I think I can do it before it disappears off the screen, you probably can't. You've got to be lined up when you press J, otherwise you just drop out wherever you are, and you can be still a number of hundreds of kilometers away, which is no good at all. So you're going to end up going back into jump drive or super cruise again. Right, I'm just going to press it before we get there. So if you do overshoot, then wait, be patient, loop round, point at your target, make sure you are pointed, and then drop out. Otherwise it's just a pain and you have to say jump back in again. Right, okay, we're lined up now. This, I can see where the docking port is quite easily on this, but if I just lock that target, there we go. As you see on the left hand side of the scanner now, the display is showing us that, well, we can see the slot as well, but there's those nice little arrows now which point which way. We didn't have those in the previous beta. That was a pain as well, because more often than not you'd end up being round the wrong side of it. Okay, so I'm just going to throttle up. I'm just going to balance the engines at the moment. Normally, and when I put it on full power to engines just to have the speed, just so I can get there a bit faster, but we don't want to get there too fast because I'm showing you various things. Right, we are going to ask for permission, so we've got to go across to contacts. There's only one contact in there, which is Django Dock. I'm going to press space and down and request docking with space again. There we go, granted. Right, now the trick with these ones is to imagine a line coming straight out of the space station. We want to basically get onto that line because that will send us straight in. So I'm imagining that line coming out of the slot, and I'm trying to sort of intersect it. So we're a little bit high, so I'm aiming down, and you've got to use your judgment a little bit more. I'm throttling back so we don't go in too far. Right, okay, there we are. I'm using the yaw control on the POV now, on the joystick, or the hat, whatever you want to call it, because I found that works best, rather than just go up a little bit. Whoa, that was close. See, we nearly had an accident then. Right, okay, he's saying proceed to landing pad 12. 12 is to the right hand side. sometimes they can be the ones which are directly below you, so don't pile in and think, oh, where's the landing pad? Just take it steady and look at the indicator top left of your scanner. Right, okay, I'm gonna just line up over here a bit. Right, landing gear's not down, so we need some landing gear, and I'm going to put the lights on as well. Although inside these space stations is well lit, some of the outposts aren't quite so well lit. So the way we have to come down into these landing bays is you have to approach them from this thrust baffle direction, not the control tower side or the building radar side. If you do, then the little graphic that helps you land is backwards, and you don't actually latch on. You have to flip yourself around. So always best to approach the right way. Just saves the headache later. Right. So rather than coming in flat and then lowering myself down, I tend to come in as if I'm going to land an aeroplane. Just come in fairly steep, bit of a glider type landing, and then just using the rudder controls and just line up. Just make sure that scrape on the bottom, and it should ping. There we go. Right, that's my particular style of landing. By all means, approach from the top and then vertically thrust down. I just find that being able to see where I'm aiming for, rather than guessing where it is below me using the graphics, is just the easiest way of doing it. That's all. Hopefully that's been of some help to anybody just starting out, or if anybody's done a few landings and I've managed to highlight something that you didn't know. Please watch out for part 3 of the tutorial. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do next. We'll probably do missions or trading. I think missions is going to be next. Please subscribe and you'll obviously be notified of it. And thank you for watching.